It was a quiet morning in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. President Ibrahim was in his office, reviewing key documents on recent developments in local policy. As he focused on the papers, his assistant Marie entered the room quickly. "Mr. President," she said, noticeably tense, "you need to see this right away." Looked up, surprised by the urgency in her voice. "What is it?" he asked. Marie handed him a tablet displaying a live broadcast of a press conference taking place in the United States. On the screen, former U.S. President Barack Obama was speaking about global leadership and the major shifts needed in the world. But what caught S' attention wasn't the overall topic, was that Obama had just mentioned Burkina Faso. "Burkina Faso," said Obama, his voice resonating across the crowded hall, "is a strong example of how smaller nations can drive major transformations." He continued, under the leadership of Ibrahim. "The country is demonstrating that independence and dignity are not abstract ideas, they're real, attainable goals." He hadn't expected to hear his name mentioned, especially not in this context. He kept watching, taking in every word. "Has moved away from the usual foreign aid approaches," Obama went on, "and is creating a future based on mutual respect and confidence in his people's abilities. That's what real leadership looks like." The audience applauded warmly. Behind Obama, visuals of Burkina Faso's development projects played across large screens. Farmers cultivating revitalized land, children studying in modern schools, and young innovators working on local technology solutions. Slowly lowered the tablet, still processing what he had just seen. "I didn't expect that," he said quietly, shaking his head. Marie smiled, energized by the moment. "Mr. President, this is extraordinary. The world is recognizing your efforts." But stayed silent for a few moments, reflecting. He understood that this recognition wasn't just about him. It was about the people of Burkina Faso who were working every day to create a better future. Finally, he spoke. "Marie, we should respond. But not with pride or ego, appreciation and humility." Meanwhile, back at the press conference, Obama concluded his remarks with a direct message. "To Ibrahim," he said, looking straight into the camera, "if you're watching, your courage is inspiring many. Keep showing the world that Africa doesn't need saving, it deserves respect." The statement quickly spread across social media, sparking widespread conversation. Discussions around sovereignty, self-reliance, and Africa's role in global affairs intensified. Hashtags like #RespectForAfrica and #LeadershipWithDignity gained traction, emphasizing the value of policy efforts rooted in local needs and priorities. Back in Burkina Faso, President continued to reflect on Obama's message. He understood that this was more than praise. It was international validation of the direction Burkina Faso had taken. After a brief pause, he turned to Marie. "Schedule a press conference for tomorrow. The world needs to understand this isn't about me. It's about our people." Marie nodded again, already making arrangements. She knew how important this moment would be. The following day, President held a press conference at the presidential palace. It was well attended, with both local and foreign journalists eager to hear how he would respond to Obama's remarks. When took the stage, he was dressed in traditional attire, clear sign of his connection to the country's cultural roots. He began his remarks in a calm but firm tone. "Yesterday," he said, meeting the eyes of the audience, "President Barack Obama made a statement about our country." Narrator, the room was silent. Everyone was focused, listening closely to every word. "I didn't expect to hear my name from someone so widely respected," continued. "But what moved me most was unteed. The personal praise it was the acknowledgement of our people's work." He then introduced a new initiative designed to build on the progress already underway, the Sovereign Future Program. Its goal was clear: support local communities in creating sustainable solutions to their challenges, without depending on foreign aid. This program, he explained, is more than politics. It's proof that we can manage our own affairs. Most importantly, it shows the world that Africa doesn't need saving. It needs to be respected. The announcement was met with applause, especially from local reporters, but some international journalists raised questions. French reporter: "Mr. President, how does Burkina Faso plan to carry out this plan without external support? Isn't that too risky?" "Every action comes with risk," he replied. but the greatest risk would be accepting help that compromises our dignity. We believe in the potential of our people and I trust they won't let us down. Yes. His words gained traction on social media, igniting global conversations on sovereignty and sustainable development. Hashtags like #RespectForAfrica and #LeadershipWithDignity quickly spread, highlighting the value of policies that prioritize local needs. Meanwhile, S-Team was already moving forward. The Minister of Agriculture met with community leaders to identify the most urgent needs. Marie, a social worker helping to coordinate the initiative, visited villages to hear directly from farmers. During one visit, an elderly farmer shared his thoughts. Elderly farmer, this will change everything. At last we can grow our own food and support our families. Marie was deeply moved by the response. She knew this went beyond politics. It was a chance to transform lives. President Obama's remarks about had quickly gained international attention. His message of respect and recognition for Burkina Faso's self-reliance resonated with leaders, civil society groups, and everyday citizens. The idea of an African nation leading its own development, without relying on foreign assistance, sparked debate. In the U.S., reactions to Obama's speech were mixed. Some praised it as a timely example of effective global leadership. Others questioned whether African nations could succeed without external help. In a live interview, one political analyst shared his thoughts. Analyst President reminds us of something many have forgotten. Leadership isn't about imposing solutions, S about enabling people to shape their own. Back in Africa, S's approach was well received. Several leaders began to adapt similar ideas to their national contexts. In Nigeria, for instance, a group of young activists launched Value Your People, a campaign to raise funds for rural communities working on sustainable local projects. At home, closely monitored the Sovereign Future program's progress. In a small village, he met Fatou, a woman who had benefited directly from the initiative, was now teaching carpentry to other women in her area. Fatou, before this, I struggled to feed my children, but now I'm helping others build a better future. The interview went viral, strengthening his image as a forward-thinking leader. The same hashtags, #RespectForAfrica, #LeadershipWithDignity, were once again trending. Echoing the core message, policy must start with the people. Behind the scenes, his team kept working to expand the program. The Minister of Agriculture built partnerships with local universities to train farmers in technical skills. Maria oversaw logistics to ensure families had access to essentials like clean water and electricity. We're only at the beginning, but signs of progress are already visible. This change isn't just economics, social, cultural, and above all human. A journalist observing the developments quietly wrote in his notebook, "Today in Burkina Faso, I saw the future of an entire continent." Narrator: Africa that honors its history, respects its heroes, and builds pathways of dignity for all. Fatou walked slowly toward the Innovation Center, her heart filled with mixed emotions. She had traveled for hours from Bobo Dioulasso, carrying more than just a suitcase. She carried her mother Marie's dreams. Marie had always hoped to see her daughter achieve something meaningful. When Fatou arrived, she found a scene she never expected. A large crowd had gathered to celebrate the achievements of the Futuro Soberano program. Marie was there too. Just as President had described tears on her cheeks as she organized the final touches of the ceremony, nearby stood Malik, the young boy who once battled illness in a basic clinic. Now he wore a clean sweater and stood proudly beside Marie, holding a board filled with photos of local projects. President Ibrahim took the stage, visibly emotional as he spotted Fatou entering the venue. Allah walked toward her and extended his hand gently. "Welcome," he said, his voice slightly trembling. "You reliving proof that what we're rebuilding is bigger than any one of us?"